After booting in his 4th extra point of the night, Eric Rodriguez set to kick this ball away. 6:25 to go, second quarter. Sulphur Springs leading the Springtown Porcupines 28-19. I'm Cameron Songer, Nathan Nunez, my QA. For this VIPE Live crew, glad you're joining us for tonight's presentation on the NFHS Network. We're in Prosper, Texas, at Children's Health Stadium. 4A D1 action at a 6A stadium. Doesn't get much better than this on a perfect night for football. Good kick return. A couple blocks out across the 25, about the 27-yard line.
Braden Butler, number 11, brings it out.
Braden Butler on the return.
On the 27-yard line, 1st and 10.
Trying to get behind Omar Hernandez on that return. Hard to find too many lanes. Well covered. Good gap integrity. Good coaching by the Sulphur Springs coaching staff. Coach Brandon Faircloth, the head man for Sulphur Springs. Led his team to a 9-2 record. On the other side, Brian Hewlett out of Springtown, a 10-1 record. Porcupines on the QB keeper. Kane Hill bounces to the outside. A big run as he's out of bounds to midfield. The gain of 23 and a big Porcupine first down. Another look at that. The ball handling. The sophomore quarterback showing off the legs.
For the Wildcats.
Because he's done a lot of running here tonight. Thrown for 2,000 yards. Rushed for 550 coming into tonight's game. But gotta say, it feels like he's running more than he's throwing here this evening, at least in terms of what he's covered yardage-wise. Makes the first man miss after the handoff to Kirk. Kirk stays on his feet. Another 20-yard carry. And he's dragging defenders with him all the way down to the 24-yard line. Gain of 26 by junior running back Ryan Kirk. Another look. Made the first man miss and then got to go another 10 yards before he was hit. And then that's just will. That's just want to. TJ Bolden finally dragging him down. Ball all the way up to the Wildcat 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for Springtown. 5:46 to go, first half. Quarterback keeper. He's dragged down. No gain.
Hill is caught in the open field.
The tackle by James Johnson. He just stonewalled Kane Hill.
No gain on the play, second down.
2nd and 10 from the Sulphur Springs 24-yard line. Both teams with all 3 timeouts still. And if you're thinking about just number of possessions left and who should be thinking about what, Sulphur Springs got the ball to start the game, which means Springtown will get the 3rd quarter kickoff. Try to think about how many possessions are left in this first half. Hill on the keeper. Spun off the first defender, got about 7 yards before he's pushed back. That makes this 3rd and manageable for the Porcupines. They'll mark him down at about the 16-yard line. 3rd down and 2 coming up. 4:43 left in the second quarter.
Make the tackle. 3rd down and 1 for Springtown.
What kind of pressure will Sulphur Springs bring? Neither defense has been able to force any kind of stop. Every drive has ended in a touchdown so far tonight. And it looks like that might continue. Kirk off left side. He barrels his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Porcupines.
Touchdown, Springtown.
16-yard touchdown run by Ryan Kirk. 4:22 remaining in quarter number 2. And out comes the PAT unit.
Smith on to try the extra point.
Bryce Smith missed his last extra point, and it looked like that one might have been tipped as it comes up short. PAT no good, and the lead is 3 still.
4:22 remaining in the first half. Sulphur Springs.
Another look at that effort.
25.
Tremendous blocking, as Ryan Kirk had a lot of room to operate inside the red zone. You don't usually see that as a ball carrier. That's when you thank your offensive line. He's able to push his way into the end zone. For Kirk, the leading rusher on the season, more than 800 yards through the team's first 11 games, and that his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. So 28-25, an unusual score. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns, 4 extra points for Sulphur Springs. For Springtown, their first drive went for a touchdown. They made the PAT, but there was a flag. Offsides on the defense. So they moved the ball up a yard, tried the PAT a second time, had it blocked, but the defense was offsides. So inside the 1 as the kickoff fair caught up to the 25-yard line. After back-to-back flags on what would have been their first PAT, Springtown decided to go for it, go for 2 rather, inside the 1. Bad snap really doomed that play. So that was on their first touchdown. Touchdown number 2, no problem, they kicked the PAT. And then their next 2 touchdowns, missed PAT and a blocked PAT. So that's how they're at 25. Sulphur Springs offense takes over. 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. 4:22 left in the half as they have a 3-point lead. Snap to Mitchell. Handoff straight up the middle. Hall, who's got a big hole, bounces to the outside. There's a flag down as he gets across the 45. Out of bounds about the 50-yard line, but this one probably coming back.
58-yard line goes out of bounds. There's a flag on the play.
You can see and hear that some of the Sulphur Springs supporters disagree with this call.
Offense number 54. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still be first down.
So 10-yard penalty from the spot, which looked like it was a little bit upfield. It's right on the line of scrimmage. You're looking at 1st and 20. Instead, it's going to be 1st and 15. But if you consider this the start of the drive, this is the worst starting field position for a drive Sulphur Springs has had all night. Although starting field position doesn't matter much when you have the ability to put scoring drives together in 1 play, 3 plays. Last time Sulphur Springs had the ball, they at least had to face 3rd down and sort of grind out a drive. First down snap, Mitchell. Hands off to Hall. Hall makes the first man miss, gets across the 30, breaks a couple more tackles to the 40, 50, 45, and out of bounds. Came down a little awkwardly, but he pops right back up and signals. Yeah, that was a first down. Big run by Deuce Hall. Take another look at it. Found a hole right up the middle of the line. Made a couple guys miss. And then he's off to the races. Potential touchdown saving tackle by Darren Sweely. As Hall will come off the field for this next play. Sulphur Springs will bring on Serta, the tight end.
43-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 43.
They'll back him up a couple yards, say he stepped out a little bit earlier. Still a big run. Gain of 32 on that carry. Just like that, the Wildcats are into Porcupine territory. 1st and 10. 3:50 left in the half. Play fake. The throw over the middle is caught. Ball is in an awkward spot. Trapped up against the face mask, and they'll say forward progress was stopped. Ooh. Heart in your throat on the Sulphur Springs sideline. Chris Adams was able to get it back under control and got a nice gain. Should be enough to move the chains. Caught it, and then on the contact, a couple steps, ball sort of came up into his grill almost. He was able to keep any Springtown defender from punching it out. Clock winds, 3:24 left in the half. 1st and 10, Sulphur Springs. Trying to make it 5 for 5 on touchdown drives in this first half. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Mitchell out of the shotgun, gets the snap, fakes it, and he'll keep it off right side. Stiff arm, and he's pushed out of bounds hard. Good tackle, one-on-one in space, made by Chase Thompson.
He goes out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Gain of about 5. It brings up 2nd and 5 with 3 minutes and change left in this second quarter. For Sulphur Springs, you're starting to think about maybe using the clock a little bit. If you score too quickly here, you leave Springtown with time to run whatever they want offensively. Porcupines a little late to get their defensive line up where they want it. Hall is in at quarterback. Play clock is down to 6. He's alone in the backfield. Pulling guards to the right side. He gets outside and gets out of bounds at about the 16-yard line.
Hall, a nice stiff arm, turns the corner.
A couple guys got tangled up at the end of that play, looking to see if there's any flag for any extracurriculars. We will say he was out of bounds at the 17. It is enough for a first down. Clock stops as they move the chains. 3:02 left to play in the second quarter. Everyone kind of just standing around. I think they were expecting some kind of flag there. Maybe they heard a whistle. But that was a clean play. Sulphur Springs, oh, they might need to call a timeout here. They don't look like they are ready. Coming to the line, 6:05 on the play clock. They will get the snap off with 2. Handoff, and Hare has nowhere to go. Jackson Hare tried to bounce it left side, but he was met by Devin Hare for no gain. Clock runs, 2:46 left in the second quarter. 2nd and 10. In the red zone, ball at the 17-yard line.
21, Devin Hare, and 32, Darren Sweely. 2nd and 10.
From that wonderful angle in the end zone, you can see the flags on top of the goalpost are very still. Not a lot of wind to speak of tonight. Motion man, snap with 4 seconds. Roll to the left side, Mitchell fires back across his body, passes complete to about the 10-yard line, short of the line to gain. Nice snag that time by Jackson Hare with the defender right on him.
To number 9.
We'll check that, that's number 9, Wyatt Watson. Gain of 9.
He's tackled at the 9-yard line.
I believe just the second time tonight that the Wildcats have faced third down. Clock winds, 1:55 left in the second quarter.
Chase Thompson, number 5, makes the tackle for the
Deuce Hall in at quarterback for Sulphur Springs as Mitchell comes to the sideline. Play clock at 10, game clock at 1:40. Shotgun formation for Deuce Hall. Keeping it off right side, looking for the block. Tries to turn the corner, gets the first down as he's ushered out of bounds at the 6. The line to gain was about the 7.5, so more than enough for a first down. And it sets up 1st and goal to go for the Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
That play results in a Wildcat first down.
Looks like Hall will remain the quarterback. Mitchell stays on the sideline. 1:29 left in the half.
32, Darren Sweely.
You wonder if Springtown might think about using some timeouts, try to preserve some time for their offense. Down by 3 and could be down by more. Play clock down to 3, down to 2. Hall gets the snap off. No, he didn't. Flag comes in.
Prior to the delay of game, timeout, Sulphur Springs.
Sulphur Springs did indeed get the timeout,
of the half.
and we'll take it with them. 1:28 to go in the first half. 1st and goal coming back up for the Wildcats on the other side of this break.
Fast internet like Optimum.
Back at Children's Health Stadium at Prosper ISD, the site of this 4A D1 area round playoff game. Sulphur Springs Wildcats with a 3-point lead and 1st and goal. Deuce Hall is in at quarterback. 2 rushing touchdowns to his credit so far tonight, and he just got number 3. Straight up the middle, touchdown Hall. Touchdown Wildcats, and the PAT can make it a 10-point lead with 1:25 left to play in the half. For the 2nd playoff game in a row, the sophomore Deuce Hall has a first half hat trick. He was playing on the freshman team last year. Jumped straight over the JV level and has become an absolute weapon
Rodriguez to try the extra point
for the varsity offense. Been a busy first half for Eric Rodriguez,
Kick is up.
and he remains perfect as he adds the PAT.
1:25.
35-25, the lead for Sulphur Springs. And as we get another look at the rushing touchdown from the sophomore Deuce Hall. Good fake carried out by Jackson Hare. Not going to get any kind of credit for that. It's not a lot of reason to celebrate at first. It's business as usual for this season Sulphur Springs team. How about this? They finished third in their district. 7-4A D1. A good season they had. Lost to one of the state powers in Salina, 31-6, and then 41-14 to Panther Creek. They were, I think, hoping for a chance to get Panther Creek back. The way the bracket shook out, that could have been the matchup next week in the regional semifinals, but Panther Creek lost last night to Alvarado in a crazy game. Overtime, 44-41, as the Indians knocked off the Panthers. A game that both teams held double-digit leads in. You don't see that very often. But the Star in Frisco was the site of a 4A D1 instant classic. So the winner tonight's game will take on Alvarado, as this deep kickoff will be fair caught at about the 12-yard line. Take it out to the 25 after Braden Butler hauled that in. Minute 25 left in the second quarter. All three timeouts still for the Porcupines, and they need some points. Remember, they do get the ball to start the second half, so if they play this right, they can basically really change things for Sulphur Springs the next time the Sulphur Springs offense touches the ball. The way these offenses have been going, a minute 25 with all three timeouts is a ton of time. As Kane Hill, the sophomore quarterback, comes back out. He's working out of the pistol formation, gets the snap, fakes and steps up into a clean pocket. Has all day, surveys, throws over the middle, complete to the 40-yard line, and about 6 yards after the catch for Carson Ferguson.
Complete to number 15.
Gain of 21 and a first down for the Porcupines. Stop the clock to move the chains. A minute 18 left in the second quarter. Another look. Fake not necessarily on point, as they faked to the wrong side, didn't matter. Swing pass to the running back, out to the right side on first down, and out of bounds goes Ryan Kirk. Not a lot there. Got about 4 yards, but kept the clock stopped, so not a lot of time running off the clock for that play. Still 1:07 to play, and all three timeouts for Springtown.
Nudges him out of bounds for the Wildcats.
Both teams, tell you what, they're getting their steps in tonight. Ball's been moving up and down the field. Haven't seen a turnover, haven't seen a punt. Every drive has resulted in a touchdown. Hill wants 6 on this play. Throw in the deep ball, and it's incomplete. Looking for Braden Butler there, and looks like he was expecting him to go a little bit deeper than he really went. Incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 5 for midfield. 61 seconds left to play in quarter number 2. This feels like it might be 4-down territory for Springtown. He played some close games, most of them in the non-district portion. Straight quarterback run, has the first down, gain of 10.
Kane Hill, the quarterback keeper.
Kane Hill took a pretty big hit at the end of that. And there's
He's tackled at the 40-yard line.
Sulphur Springs player a little slow to get up, but looks like he's okay.
Springtown.
Springtown will take a timeout just to stop the clock, as Zay Godbolt will gather himself after that tackle.
Tackle made by number 22.
55 seconds left in the second quarter. 35-25 the lead for Sulphur Springs, but Springtown has it 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 40-yard line. Recapping the game for you if you're just joining us. Every drive has resulted in points. Sulphur Springs scored on a 47-yard touchdown run by Caden Mitchell. The Springtown quarterback, Kane Hill, responded with a 43-yard touchdown run on the ensuing Springtown possession. So each team, 1 possession, 1 touchdown. Should be 7-7, right? Springtown got the Wildcats offsides twice on the PAT, so got it inside the 1 after a couple half the distance penalties. Decided, you know what, let's go for 2. Bad snap, ruined the play. 7-6 at that point. Touchdown Sulphur Springs. Touchdown Springtown, no problems on the PAT. 14-13, still 2 minutes left in the first quarter at that point. Sulphur Springs went 1 play, 65 yards, and led 21-13 after 1 quarter. Continue the recap here in just a second. Double fake. Hill has nowhere to go with this ball until he finally finds his man upfield. And then some yards after the catch by Carson Ferguson.
Complete to number 15.
Excellent blocking up front by Springtown. gave their quarterback plenty of time to read the defense. But since the second quarter has started, Springtown has had a PAT miss and a PAT blocked. Hill thrown over the middle, complete, inside the 10, and it'll be first and goal, Porcupines. 34 seconds left. Let's see if they call another timeout here. Clock is winding, 30 seconds. First and goal from the 9. Hill flings it out right side, and Kirk is ushered out of bounds at about the 4-yard line.
Ryan Kirk, he'll step out at the 4-yard line.
24 seconds left.
There to help him out. Alex King, second and goal.
Looked like somebody called a timeout. Let's see who it was.
Timeout, Sulphur Springs. This is their second timeout of the half.
Alex King credited with that tackle. And Sulphur Springs is the one calling that timeout. If somebody's defense can make a stand, and Sulphur Springs obviously wants it to be them right now. But keeping the Porcupines out of the end zone on this sequence could be huge. Even if the Porcupines are able to kick a field goal, which has not been a sure thing. Their last 2 times they've trotted on the field goal unit had a PAT miss and a PAT get either blocked or just tipped or something. But this Porcupine offense hasn't had too much trouble moving the ball. They might be thinking this is 4-down territory just because they haven't really been able to stop the Wildcats on the other side of the ball. So 3 chances, 2 timeouts, 24 seconds to try to find the end zone with the knowledge that there's not going to be much time left on the clock, and you get the ball to start the second half. This is still anyone's game. Snap to Hill, drops to throw, flushed out to the right, fires, end zone, has his man, caught the toe down, touchdown Porcupines. Dylan Crutchfield on the receiving end of that 4-yard touchdown pass.
Dylan Crutchfield holds it in.
18 seconds left in the second quarter. Kane Hill,
Smith on the point.
Dylan Crutchfield. Extra point will come from Bryce Smith. Good snap, good hold, and the PAT up and good. That's a big momentum, just confidence booster for that special teams unit. As we get another look at the touchdown pass. There was pressure coming up the middle. So Hill felt it, rolled to his right, and a just excellent placement. As coverage broke down there at the end. Crutchfield was open. 18 seconds left. 35-32. Sulphur Springs with the lead. They'll get the ball here. You wonder if they think about taking a shot, or do they just kneel this out and head to the locker room with a 3-point lead. They've shown the ability to strike quickly. They had their first drive only took 3 plays. Their third drive only took 1 play. It was a 65-yard touchdown pass from Mitchell to Lewis, but I'm not sure the coaching staff would want to see that again because that was a ball that was thrown into triple coverage, and Skylar Lewis just made a play on the ball. Skylar Lewis, the Texas State commit, who had 118 receiving yards and a touchdown last week. That touchdown brought his season total to 10. High short kick. Fair catch called for and made about the 26-yard line by Wyatt Watson. So 18 seconds, 1 timeout for Sulphur Springs. Let's see if they maybe try to go pick up about 15, 20 yards and then think about a Hail Mary kind of play. The important thing for senior quarterback Caden Mitchell, cannot turn the ball over here and give Springtown a chance to make a play to go into the locker room with a lead. Again, we have not seen anything but a touchdown as the result of any drive here tonight. So will that change here? 18 seconds left. Mitchell works out of the pistol and he just kneels it down. No reason to call timeout or anything. As both teams will make their way back to the locker room. So finally we see a drive that doesn't end in a touchdown. It's the kneel down to end the first half. 35-32 in a thrilling, bonkers, back and forth, up and down first half. But Sulphur Springs never trailed. And the question in the third quarter and the fourth quarter will be, who can make a play on defense? Whoever does will probably win this football game. Halftime score, Sulphur Springs up by 3. You're watching the 2024 UIL Texas Football 4A D1 Football Playoff Area Round. We're back at Children's Health Stadium in Prosper in a little bit for the halftime show.